Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of April 27th, 2014. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Now, thank you so much for your amazing enthusiasm for the upcoming May horoscopes. I know that they are a little bit late this month. However, they should be up by the latest in the very early part of this week, hopefully before the eclipse hits, the big eclipse that I'm about to talk about. And again, thank you so very much for your very kind enthusiasm for what I share. I'm truly so grateful for it. If you are one of those people who likes to jump ahead to your sign, just click on the timestamp next to your sign in the description while watching this on YouTube. So this week, big eclipse happening, and I've been talking about this in the April horoscopes and the May horoscopes as well. And this really is, I think, sort of that proverbial light, that breakthrough that we've been waiting for. We've had a pretty intense month, and just about the most easygoing people I know out there, myself included, have had our moments when it has felt like the universe is really trying to get us to face some truth, really trying to get us to make some change, no matter how it is that we may feel about it, no matter how much it is stretching our comfort zone. Big changes on the horizon for a lot of people out there, but more importantly, big shifts happening. Now we get the rewards. Now we see how things can actually get better when we do the work. And sometimes that work, most of the times that work, is an internal process. However, this time, while there is that strong internal, depending on the sign, depending on your sign and where exactly this eclipse speaks to you, while there still is always that focus, because the internal speaks to what's happening on external levels, the physical reflects what's happening on levels of spirit, on levels of emotion, and this is a sort of an esoteric theory that goes way back to some of our original sort of founders in these practices. And really, what's happening on levels of physicality is a reflection, just like what's happening on the level of the sky is a reflection of what's happening with us on a level of our hearts and our spirits and our minds as well. And so I really believe, as I see what is coming up this week, that regardless of what has felt so difficult, it is that which has been difficult that now will prove to be a great blessing. It is as if we've been encouraged to change, encouraged to let go, encouraged to face some truths, for some people more difficult truths than others, and that in turn now will lead to a really positive breakthrough. So this week, really, it's all about the eclipse that's taking place, and this eclipse is speaking very harmoniously with several power players in the sky, including Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn. And so these are all symbols of hope, of inspiration, of having a dream, but then actually being committed to it and manifesting it, understanding what is required to actually do what needs to be done in the physical plane, to then experience the benefit in the physical plane as well. And so what's also happening with this eclipse that I find really special is that Mercury is speaking, or is actually right in the mix. Okay, so Mercury is right in there. A solar eclipse takes place. It's the moon and the sun together in the same place in the sky. So whatever's happening with the moon is also happening with the sun. And then you add to this Mercury, which is really close by, also making these conversations all around the zodiac with these different power players. And you put all this together, and it does suggest that random interactions, messages that we receive, information that finds us sometimes seemingly out of nowhere, whether it's text messages or whether it's just being online and running across a post, even internet searches, if you will, sort of will randomly lead us to the information that we need that will contribute to that big shift, that big change, that big breakthrough. I know you add to all this the fact that Venus will be moving into the sign of Aries, representing a shift as well, a shift of blessings, a shift in understanding our power to attract what it is we need, not always have to fight and go after what it is that we want or we believe. And this in turn lends itself to really a changing climate, a changing reality for a lot of us out there. What last week or the week before felt so challenging, felt so difficult, felt like we were wrangling with, wrestling with, now will give way to an easy understanding. Now will give way to the shift that's needed internally to start to experience a different reality externally. How all this speaks to your sign is coming up right now. Well, hello, fabulous Aries, as I said, and I'll speak about in the May horoscopes as well. This is Venus entering your sign. And so I do believe that no matter what's sort of happening around you or with other people around you, you have this perspective to believe in yourself, to feel good, and to trust life. But what's actually happening around you is really good. This is a financial shift taking place for you and very likely financial advancement. This is what the eclipse is speaking to for you specifically. And so if you can open yourself to an understanding of giving greater worth to what it is that you are giving, the universe will respond to that in kind by returning more to you. And then you add the element of just believing that you deserve to attract, instead of always having to fight, you deserve to attract good things. You'll find that they have a way of presenting themselves to you. Hello, fabulous Taurus. Well, it's a big week for you, and I've spoken about this in the April monthly horoscopes, May monthly horoscopes as well. Big time for you. This is the shift. I have been hearing a lot of Taurians out there reach out to me and saying, goodness, I just feel so frustrated, or I just feel so stuck, or some variation thereof. And I've been telling them, just hold on, just don't worry. You are going to have that breakthrough. You are going to really see a notable shift, and this is part of the process. All that frustration or whatever sort of has been building for you is now going to lend itself to a very promising breakthrough, a promising new start for a lot of you out there as well. Those of you born right around the 1st of May are going to experience this much more notably. However, every Taurian out there should be experiencing some major new beginning of their own. And it is really letting go of a part of your identity that has outworn its usefulness and stepping into a new definition of self, seeing yourself as much more effective, much more powerful, much more inspired and inspiring, but also much more capable to actually experience the change you wish to experience in your life. It really is a very special time. Again, as I've spoken about in the monthly videos, my hope is that you make the most of it by being honest with yourself every step of the way and being willing to change. That really is the key to opening up tremendous blessings for yourself. Hello, fabulous Gemini. Well, it is your ruling planet, Mercury, that is very intimately involved with this solar eclipse that is taking place. And as such, these changes, while usually, if it was just another solar eclipse happening, maybe wouldn't speak to as powerfully as this one, because it is your ruling planet, your representative in the sky that's being spoken to so notably. And so what I would encourage you to do is really, as I've said before, document dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. There's a lot going on just under the surface for you. And I really think that it is sort of in the dreamscape that you may hatch your next big plan for your life, and a lot of breakthroughs become possible for you. In particular, it looks like there's a lot of changes set to take place in the realm of your work and your career, and all of these areas. Really, it's going to be based on what you've already done. And if there is any action for you to take, if there is any realization for you to have, this is going to be the time to do it. I recently came across a little documentary on Jennifer Lopez, of all people, and she was saying how she had one plan for her life, and then she had a dream that she was to pursue her career now, and this was a very, very long time ago, and she decided to trust the dream, and she was in an environment, she was raised in a family where, okay, well, you had that dream, you've got to trust that dream. You've had that dream. That's some sort of message for you. And that really is the kind of big time message I'm seeing possible for you now. Like, you really get some sort of major clarity, some sort of message, some sort of insight in the dream space that just feels like the thing that shifts your path. So be open to the possibility, trust yourself, trust the messages coming forward, because they're leading you somewhere very good. Hello, fabulous Cancer. Well, this week, Jupiter moving through your sign is speaking with this eclipse. You add to it, this eclipse is very harmoniously placed, and it's a very harmonious eclipse as well. And it does suggest to me that you are really coming to understand your ultimate hopes and wishes for your life very differently, and the pathway to them, what's actually going to be required for you to realize those hopes and those wishes, starts to become a lot clearer to you as well. You add to this energy of Venus moving into a part of of the sky that has to do with your career. And it does suggest a time when you have this very sort of visceral understanding of what needs to happen in terms of what you need to accomplish in order to realize the highest wishes and hopes you have for your life, and how other people fit into this, how your friendships and your connections, any associations or unions or groups that you belong to are going to fit into your eventual success. One thing is for sure, though, with Venus now moving through the part of the sky that has to do with career, it does suggest a softening of relationships with people in a position of authority, but also it suggests just attracting some very nice attention, professional attention, if you want it to be, professional attention from a person in a position of authority that ends up really making you believe that what you want is possible to you. Trust the alliances that you've made and be open to creating more genuine friendships, because it is the most genuine friendships that are going to show you the way to greater success. Hello, fabulous Leo. Well, this week the eclipse is taking place in a part of the sky that has to do with your career. And for career, ultimately what that means is creating a legacy. It has to do with accomplishment, with reaping rewards. And also it has to do with change. Really, this is about you coming to realize that you still have a lot to do, and maybe what you thought you should be doing is not it at all. Maybe it's in a whole other way that you're going to go about doing it. So there are a couple of different ways this can manifest. For some Leos out there, this week is likely to manifest in you getting some sort of promotion, getting a leg up in an industry that you've been working on and waiting for a breakthrough in. But for others, it's likely going to be a major change. It's likely going to be a real divergence from the path that you've been on in favor of a new vision that is even better, even more inspired, and even more awe-inspiring than what you considered before. There are going to be some Leos, especially those born right around the 1st of August, but all Leos are going to feel this. But those born right around the 1st of August are going to feel this eclipse most. And this is going to be speaking to dramatic changes, doors opening where before you just saw nothing, nothing, just a blank wall. All of a sudden feeling like an understanding coming over you that what a goal that you've been pursuing, an understanding you've been having, isn't the way for you at all. Actually, you're supposed to go in this whole other direction. And the way that you know you're supposed to go in this other direction is that it comes with this big bonus, this big gift, this undeniable symbol that this is the way to a greater success, greater accomplishment, greater prosperity, greater renown even, greater recognition than you've known before. So while some of you are going to be put on a whole other path, others are going to find yourself raised significantly in the path that you are already on. One thing is for sure, though, the path that does open up to you is one that is markedly blessed and does represent you being brought into alignment with a higher vision for your life. Hello, fabulous Virgo. Well, this week with the solar eclipse and your ruling planet being Mercury speaking so harmoniously, so closely with, very much in tandem with this eclipse, the changes that are taking place now are going to speak right to the heart of you, right to very important levels of you, levels of identity, levels of what matter to you most. But more than that, I think about the fact that this eclipse is very harmoniously speaking with your sign. Really, it's in a fellow earth sign. It represents a part of the sky that has to do with vision. It has to do with knowing yourself as more at home in more of the world. And it has to do with adventure as well. Trying something new, being open to something new. And I would suggest to you and recommend to you that there are great possibilities out there that maybe you haven't considered yet. And there are great places calling you that you haven't considered yet either. I do think that some Virgos out there are likely to be all of a sudden sort of have a need to get or be the recipient of tickets, plane tickets. If there have been any immigration issues, those could just really find their solution super fast, like a letter you've been waiting for. In some cases, years shows up for you now. But also, if there's just been a desire to know yourself as more a part of this universal brethren, whether it's on a level of spirit, on a level of philosophy and understanding, or in a very practical level of you knowing yourself in different cultural contexts, all of that becomes possible to you now. now. So you can actively engage this energy if you like, but if you don't actively engage it, then chances are the adventure, the calling is just going to present itself to you, and it's going to be really, really good and very hard to resist. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week's eclipse takes place in a part of the sky that has to do with finances, but not the type of money that you go about earning, not the type of money necessarily that you go about working towards to meet your own needs. And I've talked about this extensively in the May horoscope for you, the general horoscope overview. However, I do think it bears mentioning right now that this is a very important time for you to be thinking about where it is that maybe you could start to look to access funds. And so it looks like some ambition or some prospect, some project seems to be calling you. It seems to be something that you want to do. And if you can open yourself to the possibility that actually the universe is infinitely prosperous, infinitely abundant, and that there are many, many ways that prosperity can find you, that's going to be your best bet. And I think a lot of Libras out there are going to find the possibility of them just receiving a check of money that's been long overdue is very possible now. A lot of Libras out there are likely to find, whether it's tax returns, whether it's grants or loans or bursaries, benefits, that type of funding seems to come through right now, and in many cases quite by surprise. And it seems to be at the perfect moment, adding a level of stability. It doesn't seem like it's the absolute answer, but it seems like it's the perfect answer for right now and leaves you with a lot of gratitude. Some of you out there might not experience this in terms of prosperity, but likely in terms of emotional support, where you find yourself deeply understood in some very surprising ways from people that you didn't expect to feel that sort of camaraderie with before. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Well, this eclipse is taking place in your opposite sign. I spoke about this in the monthly horoscope. It really is love that's shifting for you big time. If you are open to love, it's very likely that you'd meet somebody in the next couple of weeks. If you are already in a committed relationship, this is about the two of you formulating a plan to start fresh, to move forward together towards a future that the two of you conceive of together in a united way, presenting a united front as well. One thing is for sure, though, you're coming to understand love and partnership and even sharing in a way that you haven't known before. And you are preparing for a greater depth of experience where it comes to partnership than you have known before as well. Be open to the possibility that actually there are a tremendous amount of supporters out there for you, but more than that, there's a tremendous amount of love out there for you as well. Wherever it is that you've been in a situation that you know has run its course, you've been hanging on because you're committed or whatever, now you're about to either find solutions or move forward. Where it is that you know you're with the person you want to be with, you're about to deepen that commitment, start a new identity together. And where it is that you've been open to love, you're about to find experiences and very likely people that come along that are much better than anything you could have planned for yourself. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Well, I really like this week for you for a lot of different reasons. One reason is that Jupiter is speaking so harmoniously with this major configuration taking place in the sky, and your ruling planet is Jupiter. And this does suggest to me, and given that Jupiter right now is moving through a part of the sky, as I spoke of in last year's Jupiter special, as I spoke of in that video, this is about finances. This is about understanding prosperity, abundance, healing relationships around money. This is about opening yourself up to many sources of prosperity as well. And I look at this and I look at the fact that this eclipse is taking place in the part of the sky that has to do with work, the work environment, utilizing your day well, the workplace. And that Venus is moving into a very harmonious position to you as well, moving into fellow air sign, the sign of Aries, and moving into a part of the sky that has to do with self-actualization, has to do with personal fulfillment. And I look at these placements and it does suggest to me that you are about to reap some sort of financial reward from a risk well played. And so this is really a time, especially considering where Venus is moving into, part of the sky that, as I said, self-actualization, but also instincts, taking a risk, placing a bet. I do think that all of this is going to play very well as Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. This plays very, very well in terms of you just striking at the right time to achieve the change that you want in your work circumstances, and also at the same time reaping financial benefit, very likely some sort of large bonus. If there's been any money that's been owed to you, now there is that possibility it comes through. If there's been any issues in the workspace, any severance especially, stuff like that, that is likely to come through nicely for you as well. But it looks very much connected to your timing. And so trust your instincts, know exactly when it is to ask for exactly what it is that you want. And I think you're going to find that things move very, very fast in a direction that you like very much, especially where it comes to your reality and your experience as you move about your day and the places that you most frequent as you move about your day, including your workspace. There are likely to be shifts taking place in that realm at this time. And even though if you're not really sure how that's going to work out for you, I do think that with the fullness of time and not that much time, I think you're going to like the changes very much. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. Well, this week with this eclipse playing out in a very harmonious sign to yours in the sign of Taurus, fellow Earth sign Taurus, it does suggest to me that you are coming into an understanding of your own instincts. You are coming in an understanding of your own power. You are coming to see where it is that you can actually trust yourself to lead you to greater prosperity. Now, what I also think about this, the literal understanding, and I've spoken about this in April videos and May videos as well. Sort of the literal understanding of this is creation, okay? And one of our most immediate creations, especially classically speaking, is our children. And so this is a time when, if you are one of those people who wants to have children, you could find yourself very surprisingly and happily pregnant. If that's not something that you're going for, well, it's good that you know that. And you know that there are things you can do to not have that happen. And instead, you can realize this energy in terms of its more metaphorical understanding, which is about creativity and fertility and abundance and growth in just about any area of life that you choose. Most importantly, there is an element here, as I said, self-actualization. There's an element here of you understanding that if you trust yourself, if you go with your gut, it'll lead to good things. It'll lead to a payoff. And if there's any sign that should be buying a lottery ticket this week, it is you. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. Well, this eclipse takes place in the part of the sky that has to do with home. It has to do with feeling at home in your own body and in your own space as well, in your skin and in your environment as well, because the inner is a reflection, or sorry, the outer is a reflection of the inner. They feed each other. They are a mirror to each other. And so when I look at this, there are a couple of different ways this can manifest, as I've spoken about in the monthly videos. This is a week where you can find, if you're looking for a new place to live or if you're trying to sell or buy, this is a week when a lot of activity happens and it ends in a place that you like very, very much. If it's more personal, it does look like some changes in your home environment do take place now, whether it's active redecorating or otherwise, that bring you a lot of joy, that really feel like a launching point to bigger and better as well. There definitely seems to be a step up and fresh energy sort of coming in, fresh gratitude coming in as well. And I really like the fact that Venus is moving into a harmonious position to you, which suggests to me an understanding of how actually speaking about the things that you want has a way of attracting them to you. So whether you're speaking about them in your own space, utilizing things like the law of attraction, or just speaking out loud or talking to yourself, of making affirmations, or whether whether you're actually speaking to other people. After all, this is Taurus, it's an earth sign, so you've got to be a little bit practical in that, or you're speaking to other people. It does look like a lot of things can fall into place right now very quickly that allow you to feel more at home within yourself, in your own environment, wherever it is that you find yourself being, and also allow you to feel that you have redefined what home is to you, and finally you do feel at home where it is that you are most meant to be. Hello, fabulous Pisces. Well, this week with this particular eclipse speaking in harmony with Neptune in your sign, add to this the fact that this eclipse is harmoniously placed to yours in the part of the sky that has to do with the random interaction and how positive events are taking place around this eclipse. And the planet of the random interaction, Mercury, is so involved in this eclipse. I put all these things together, and it suggests to me that this is an important week for you to just be out and about, for you to trust the winds of inspiration and go along for the ride, because it is in your most unexpected moments, in those little interactions that you have, that you are struck with the most brilliant ideas, brilliant possibilities, an understanding of what it is that you could actually plan for to move your life forward, who you could connect with to move your life forward as well. If there's any healing that needs to happen around relationships with siblings or cousins or otherwise people who are considered your peers within family, this is a powerful time when that could happen for you as well. But most importantly, because it is Neptune in your sign speaking to this eclipse, and it is Jupiter, your ancient ruler, speaking to this eclipse, and all of this is happening in a very harmonious configuration, it does suggest to me that the changes that take place for you now, the conversations that you have now, speak right to the heart of you. They get right to the heart of you and help you to understand exactly what it is that you're going for, exactly what it is that you want, and exactly what it is that your next big breakthrough, your next big change, and your next great inspiration is going to be. So trust the messages that come to you. Trust any interactions that come up from those people, as I said, who are peers within your family, because they are likely to bring you a tremendous stroke of luck right about now. Well, I will stop there. Thank you so much to all signs for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.